And welcome back to the NFL Today on YouTube. A full house here in Studio 43. We start with Coach. As the guys will talk about that Pittsburgh at Washington matchup. What a chess match. And you can look at it both ways. I just look at it from the Commander standpoint. The young guys are still showing that they can hang in, but Pittsburgh really did play that one well.
I think both these teams just showed themselves very well. Went down to the fourth quarter, last possession. And Pittsburgh's been doing it all year long, making plays in the fourth quarter and finding ways to win games, different ways of doing it. And I was impressed with the Commanders. I mean, honestly, under the duress that they had with that defense, Jaden Daniels, I think both these teams validated their respective records.
You know, I can appreciate Mike Tomlin even more now. You know, he was getting a lot of flack for pulling Justin Fields and then putting Russell Wilson in the lineup, and everybody's questioning it. How do you do that when you have a winning record and it seems like everything's good? If this goes wrong, it's all going to come crashing down on the head coach. He was right. Yeah. He was right. This offense has a better flow. There is this dynamic of the long ball that wasn't there before, and you see the growth of Pickens and that combination with Russell Wilson throwing that looping moon ball and Pickens. It's not a 50-50 ball when it's in the air and it's him and the DB.
Right.
It's more like 90-10, 95-5. Like, that guy is showing up every time that ball is in the air. So I can just appreciate Mike Tomlin for making that decision.
And Mike Williams steps in, makes a big play on day one as a Steeler. He stays on that red line, gets a touchdown from Russell Wilson.
It was pretty good on that red line, wasn't it?
It was right on that red line, wasn't it?
Right on that red line.
Ball. But this is a little bit of a different feel to the Steelers we've known for the last couple of years, where they got to try and keep the score low because they're not putting up a ton of points. They can put points up. They put up 28 points today. Back to your point, JB. Jaden Daniels got them down there on that final drive. He was, 1 millimeter away from having a first down, 5 yards away from kicking that field goal. So give Jaden a lot of credit.
And would have got the ball back if his defense didn't jump offside.
Well, listen, and that's kind of the thing if you're the Commanders. I agree with you. I love the poise of Jaden, right? End of game, he is not scared of the moments. But the difference in big games like this, when you have two really good football teams going at each other, it's the details, right? The Zach Ertz play, where he goes to the sticks. We were talking about this during the game, right?
Yeah.
Where he goes to the sticks and ends up just short coming back to that football. In those kind of situations, you want to get past the sticks, right? You want to get to that spot and, allow for wiggle room to be able to go get that first down. But you're going to see it. You know, it's the little things right here. Not putting that ball in front, not getting it down the field when you need to. I think the details are what the Commanders need.
I think it's right here.
Yeah, right here. You know, he's past that. He comes back, steps past it. We would say down in distance +2. Right? Down in distance +2.
Yeah, and for those at home, a sticks route is the markers.
Correct.
Get past where you need to be to get the first down. And I think it was a little bit of muscle memory as a pass catcher. You're always taught to come back to the ball.
But then end of the game, right, where we jump off sides in that situation where more than likely they're not going to snap the football, right? They're trying to get you to do something silly, jump off sides in that situation, not give the Commanders a chance to get the ball back in the hand. I think that if they clean up the details, which I think they can do, right? These are small little things that they can do. They're close, right? They've shown they can hang with the Baltimore. They can hang with the Pittsburgh, right? They're right there with them, but the devil is in the details. They've got to get those things cleaned up.
Let me coattail on that point you're making about small little things. And actually, this is a big thing. I was talking with JJ. He didn't bring it out here, but I'm going to pull it out of him. The little things that you work on because you never know when it's going to happen. Your brother hitting Jaden Daniels' arm, a little thing. Talk about energy down the stretch when it's called.
Yeah, I think that's something that he's obviously used to, making big plays at the end of the game when it matters most, and it's what his training does. He tries to do it where he's at his strongest when other people are at their weakest near the end of the game, and then getting that arm. Like you said, Jaden leading the team down the field, doing it well, by the way.
Yeah.
And then he gets that play, and then the very next play, they obviously get the stop. So got to give him credit. That's something he works on well. I mean, a really great player might have got the strip sack.
The impact of a player of his nature isn't always shown in his stats because it's everybody else around him. He's getting doubled this entire game. Cam Hayward has 2 sacks. Highsmith is in the backfield all night because he's taking up 2 blockers. So sometimes it's like that great receiver, great offensive player. It just opens it up for the other people, and that's what he brings to the table. And then the one time they do leave him alone and they don't put the tight end over there, and he makes the play in the fourth quarter. But this also was a game I mean, how many missed opportunities? You had the fumbled punt by the Commanders. You had the fake punt that was the guy just drops the ball, was there. Jalen Warren goes is getting ready to go in for a touchdown. He fumbles the ball. So it's like teams like this, too, where they respond. I think championship teams respond. You get a little bit of adversity. You don't sit there and say, oh, here we go again. They say, okay, we're just going to overcome it. And so the other side picks it up. And both these teams responded today like true champions do.
And one last thing. Nate kind of made this point about switching to Russell Wilson a few weeks ago, too, right? And their vertical threat down the field has been awesome, right? I think he was 14 of 28 today. So the completion percentage is low, but the explosive rate is high. The thing that I think has helped with this vertical passing game, it's helped the run game. Right? You're getting more favorable looks to run the football against. And I think that's where Mike Tomlin felt like Justin Fields was very good running the football for them. But when you look at their offense, it's just about creating space for the run game. And right here, Russell Wilson just going to dump it off, right? You've got all those guys worried about, Coach, you said it, the moon balls. It creates space underneath. And you can toss this outside right here, the cut, the vision to be able to get downhill, run it again. And Russ, he's done this forever. Extend plays, make plays with his legs, buy time, and then give his guys opportunities to make a play with the ball in the hand and then go over the top. This is it. This is the moon ball, right? We keep talking about it. Mike Williams
Blitz is coming.
Holding that red line, saving space for Russell Wilson to put that to the outside. I really like where this Pittsburgh offense is going, right? And I think Mike Tomlin had that in the back of his mind. If we're going to win a Super Bowl, which is the goal in Pittsburgh, right? It's about raising another Lombardi trophy. You've got to have a vertical threat in the passing game, and they have one now.
Hey, Bill Cowher, let me ask you, if you don't mind. I believe 8 times you won that division when you were coaching there. 2 conference championships, 2 Super Bowls. You won a Super Bowl. Did you understand what Mike Tomlin was doing when he made that move, coattailing on the point that Nate made? Did you understand what he was trying to accomplish when he made that switch?
I don't think there's any question. I think he made the switch. I think he would have started with Russell to begin with. I think it was a blessing in disguise, to be quite honest with you. I think what Justin gave them in those first 4 games was the fact that their offensive line wasn't coming together. They weren't gelling. They were trying to still feel each other out. Justin was buying them time. They were doing things with his legs that Russell can't do. But you just knew that there was a ceiling there with that. I think there's no ceiling now with Russ. Russ gives you the chance. The identity is right there with Arthur Smith. Run the ball, play action, and if you run the ball, you get single high. You get single high, now you can throw the ball vertically down the field. That was not a strength of Justin Fields, but he could create plays with his legs, but it was going to take 10 to 12 play drives. But you go down the field, this guy right here, he wanted Russell Wilson from day one, and this is a guy that's a special player. And question a lot of things. If this guy can run after the catch, he'll go inside. And we've seen what he does when he makes these acrobatic catches. His ability to extend, to track a ball. That's what makes him special. And right now, you got that kind of dynamic receiver on the outside. That opens up, you said, for the running game inside. And then Mike Williams comes in.
Exactly.
And you got another guy on the other side.
You mentioned the addition of Mike Williams and the single high, right? Meaning that safety is right smack in the middle of the field. But a lot of times in single high, the safety is going to cheat one direction or the other, right? So you got to pick your poison. Do you want to cheat towards George Pickens? Fine. I'm going to take a shot down the other sideline to Mike Williams, right? So I think it helps in the run game. It helps in the vertical passing game, adding, Mike Williams at the trade deadline. They're going to get better.
Yeah, and then you throw in,
I think they're going to improve.
The running backs catching out of the backfield and the tight end play. Seems like this team has everything that they need.
Before we switch gears, because you really are a teacher when you talk about the wide receivers, and I'm watching you looking at George Pickens.
Yeah, I was getting excited.
You're like, ooh. What do you see?
Well, he's tracking the ball very well. One thing that got me excited when he's running that slant route, he goes and snatches the ball versus letting it get to his body. And then when he's running a fade route, he's going to hold the line. He's going to sit there and lean up against the DB as long as he can, and then at the very last minute, let that ball fall right into the pocket. He does a great job. For him to be a young wide receiver, I mean, the sky's the limit for him.
Little thing.